So I wanted to make a video talking about the battery. I did a battery test, and also talking about the battery gauge calibration feature. When I got the machine, I charge it up, and then I'm using it, and the battery ticks down to like 70%, and then all of a sudden 6%, and it says plug in your machine. And then I would plug it in, and it would charge up again to full in like 10 minutes, and that was happening repeatedly. So I thought there's something going on here. So I was hoping just the battery gauge needed to be calibrated, and fortunately that's what did the trick. So included on this laptop is software. It's Lenovo Commercial Vantage, and if you let me get back to the so if you open this Lenovo Commercial Vantage and you click device up here on this menu, and on the drop down you click power, you can see your battery percentage. And if you scroll down, you have some battery charge thresholds. You could set it so it doesn't charge past 95%, so it won't, if you fully charge it to 100 and then you keep charging it, it kind of reduces the life of the battery, so you can set it at 95. But also below that, you can reset the battery gauge calibration, and I can't click it because I'm not plugged in right now, but if you click it, it says, close everything, close everything you have open, and then, it might take a few hours. So I ran this battery gauge reset, and it took 14 hours to run this thing. So if you get this machine and the battery gauge is not accurate, you need 14 hours to run this thing. So first it charges it to full, and I already had it at full, but it doesn't trust the gauge, which is good. So it charges it for like an hour and a half, and then it discharges it over like 10 hours. Like I thought it was going to run the fans and the processor. No, it just like drip drains it or something over the course of like 10 hours, and then it charges it again for another 90 minutes, and that's it. So that did the trick. So after I did this, I did a battery test to see how long the battery lasts, and I'll put this text in the description. But I got 5 hours and 5 minutes, so it's less than the 7 hours advertised. Normally, I just kind of keep it plugged in. There's no coil line. Very little. There's a little bit of coil line. If you put your ear by the backspace key, you can kind of hear this high-pitched sound. And it's there on battery and when plugged in. And it's there. It's not the speakers. I tried muting the speakers. The Surface Book, I wouldn't want to keep it plugged in because it would really make an audible coil line when it was plugged in, not on battery. This one, you don't even hear it. So I don't mind keeping it plugged in most of the time. And 5 hours is not terrible. So battery test, I had it at 50% brightness, and I ran a movie, an MKV file in Potplayer, and I minimized that, and I had the volume muted, Bluetooth off, Wi-Fi on, some web browsing throughout this time, and a fair bit of typing in Notepad++, which is just a text editor. I also had the keyboard backlighting on low, just because I like it. I was watching the battery gauge before I did this test, and I was watching it kind of calculate, dynamically calculate the remaining battery time, and it looked like the backlight on the keyboard there takes maybe about a half an hour of battery life using that. So I wanted to share that. I think the Lenovo Vantage thing is pretty cool. Fortunately, they include that, and if you scroll up, you can see the battery. You can click the battery. You can see the battery temperature, how many charge cycles are on it, the full charge capacity, things like that. So if you get this machine, you might want to calibrate the battery gauge first. That's what I got. Thank you.